Hey, so a complaint that I hear all the time can be pretty annoying because it's actually not true, is that lead ag leads are rubbish, right? But if that was true, platforms like Houzz and Thumbtack and all of these companies, they wouldn't be worth hundreds of millions or in some cases billions of dollars, right? People aren't just going to keep sending them money to not close deals. So unfortunately, whether you like it or not, the problem isn't the leads. It's 10 times out of 10. Every single company that I've gone into that doesn't like lead aggregator leads, and it's not to say that they're perfect, but the people that don't like them and say that they don't work, they just don't know how to chase them properly, right? And at the end of the day, the same $100 lead that you say is crap, one of your competitors has booked as a demo and is closed, right? So today we'll kind of talk about the process of how to effectively go after these leads to actually be able to close those deals. It's not to say that by the end of this video, you're going to drop everything that you have to chase lead aggregator leads, but by the end of this video, you're going to be able to implement the process, which means that they won't be, bad quality for you. So just to double down on this kind of like bad lead myth that I found, again, these platforms survive by providing an ROI for their clients, right? Which are you guys, the contractors who are buying the leads. But the biggest thing is that, from a homeowner's perspective, when they, give their leads or their contacts to these lead aggregators, they end up getting bombarded by tons of contractors that ultimately sound the exact same, right? And the biggest problem that I found is that people will kind of treat lead aggregator leads like a referral, right? They have the complete wrong playbook. And because of that, people like yourself will burn thousands of dollars each month. And then they'll eventually be like, oh, well, I've tried this enough, I've spent enough money, this doesn't work. But the reality is that you need to have a bit of a reframe, right? These are completely different animals when it comes to leads. A referral, if I was kind of compare it to like fishing, a referral lead is like fishing in a private lake, right? It's quiet, there's no one else in the lake. Whereas aggregator leads are literally like, fishing in the open ocean. There are tons of fish, but it's very noisy, very crowded, very competitive. And at the end of the day, no fisherman has ever gone and been like, oh my God, there's too many fish in the ocean. This doesn't work, right? But what they're not going to do is they're not going to take the same kind of fishing rod that they fish at their local lake with and try and take that to the ocean. The same should apply for you versus the different types of lead sources that you have. And to be able to fix your process for a lead aggregator source, you need to have a very disciplined system that actually matches the environment that you're in, right? You're going to treat a lead ag a lead ag lead very different to even, I'd say, a PPC lead. So for me, if possible, we want to have this kind of controlled aggression, which I call the 4+30 system. So between days 1 and 4, we want to double tap these leads. We want to hit them on phone. We want to hit them on SMS. We want to hit them on email. We want to provide trust signals and try and be the first to, show these people that we're different when we actually get them on the phone. Then between days 5 and 30, I tell you, we want to have a kind of more measured cadence. So ideally we want to rotate numbers. We want to kind of use email a little bit more. I think that protecting SMS during this process is very, very important. We also want to provide things like reviews, photos, before and afters, right? We want to separate ourselves from this, huge crowd of people. Because again, the reality is that there are tons of contractors that are reaching out to this lead because that's the model of Houzz and Thumbtack and all these companies, right? So we want to be very aggressive early, kind of measured later on, but no matter what, and even into the future, we want to make sure that we're being consistent with the outreach, right? It doesn't want to be sporadic. It should be systemized so that, we actually know what we're doing and we can track, whether these processes are working. And the unfortunate reality is that a lot of remodelers will kind of stop reaching out after a period of time. Even if you reach out for 30 days of lead aggregator leads, they can be cool. It can be kind of a decent amount of time, but between financing problems, between just general procrastination, between just comparing all the different options they have, sometimes the buying cycle can be longer than 30 days. So for us, we try and kind of shift those leads into a lead nurture process after 30 days, whether that's kind of emails, a couple of times a month, the odd text message here and there. We want to provide, again, these same trust signals, reviews, before and after, things of that nature, so that when that lead is fully ready and they want to move forward with a contractor that's still in their inbox and is kind of top of mind to be able to get that individual on the hook, right? So that's a quick overview of what that 4+30 process looks like. And if you implement the system, you'll find out that it's not the lead source that's broken. It was just your follow-up process or your kind of outreach process to lead aggregator leads, right? And this applies across a bunch of lead sources, by the way. But the idea is that with proper systems, you get more dollars out for the money that you put in for leads, right? And you know, when we've gone into companies, whether it's to implement our own system or to coach them on theirs, some companies are wasting 5 figures a month, like $10,000, like paying for leads that they just have a very, very bad process for. And that's why they have, you know, terrible conversion rates, but they don't track it. And again, there's a whole bunch of messes that are going on. But if you are confused on how to actually, you know, scale your lead aggregator process, please implement that system. And I promise you, you'll see a lot more success. Now, if you don't have the time to be able to, you know, implement cadences and quality assure your reps and train them and things of that nature, which a lot of people do, or maybe you just don't necessarily want to pay some of the prices that come with hiring reps in-house and paying all of these different things that come with, you know, full-time employees and software and things of that nature, we are able to implement our own reps into your company. It's very, very quick. Our reps are already trained. We are the ones that are doing all of the quality assurance and stuff, and all you need to do is, you know, generate the leads, sit back and have the appointments and the kind of revenue flow in, right? So if that is something that's interesting to you, feel free to reach out. I can kind of walk you through the process. We have a bunch of, you know, short pilots that we can actually prove to you guys for a very, very cheap price that we actually know what we're doing before longer term contracts. But even if that's not something that you're interested in right now, be sure to follow the page. There's tons of videos just like this that will help you guys, you know, improve your own processes at your own company. So thank you guys for taking a look at this video, and I'll see you guys in the next.